This is Team Delta. We have captured the president and his wife. We are moving back to headquarters. Over.
January 3rd, 2026. Just after 2 in the morning. Inside a darkened room in Washington, the glow of multiple screens reflected off the face of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. No advisors spoke. No phones rang. Trump was watching a live military feed, not a movie, not a simulation, but a real operation unfolding thousands of kilometers away in Caracas, Venezuela. The operation had a name, Operation Absolute Resolve. At the exact same moment, the Venezuelan capital had gone completely dark. Traffic lights failed. Street lamps went dead. Entire neighborhoods disappeared into silence. This was not a technical failure. It was deliberate. While millions slept, American helicopters crossed into Venezuelan airspace, flying barely 100 feet above the ocean, low enough to evade radar systems. Inside the presidential residence, Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, were asleep. The building was designed to survive protests, coups, and assassination attempts. What it was not designed for was a silent aerial assault. Ropes dropped from helicopters. Delta Force commandos descended onto the roof with practiced precision. Glass shattered. Windows were forced open. Maduro and Cilia Flores woke to armed men in their bedroom. Maduro ran toward his steel-reinforced safe room. Cilia Flores tried to follow. He reached the door and attempted to shut it, but before it could lock, the soldiers restrained both of them. Within 5 minutes of entering the building, the elected president and first lady of Venezuela were in American custody. Later that day, Donald Trump would tell Fox News that watching the operation felt like watching television. Clean, precise, almost entertaining. But this was not fiction. This was the reality of a sitting head of state and his spouse being abducted from their own home by a foreign military.
Late last night, armed forces conducted an extraordinary military operation to bring outlawed dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
When the news broke later that morning, shockwaves spread across the world. Governments struggled to respond. Newsrooms questioned whether this was even possible. For the first time in modern history, a superpower had openly abducted the president of another sovereign country. 2 questions immediately dominated global discussion. Why did the United States do this? And if Venezuela could be targeted, which country was safe? The story did not begin with helicopters. It began months earlier. In August 2025, while the world believed Venezuela was stable, the CIA quietly deployed operatives inside the country. They had no diplomatic cover. Their task was surveillance. Track Nicolas Maduro's routines, his sleeping patterns, his security weaknesses. Every detail, down to his meals and clothing, was observed. At the same time, intelligence flowed from within the Venezuelan government. A source inside the system shared real-time information with Washington. This was not improvisation. This was careful preparation. In November 2025, a direct phone call took place between Donald Trump and Nicolas Maduro. According to U.S. officials, Trump issued a clear ultimatum: step down from power, relinquish control, or face consequences. Maduro refused. That refusal triggered the final phase of Operation Absolute Resolve. Back in the United States, an exact replica of Maduro's residence was constructed at a secure military facility. Delta Force units rehearsed repeatedly. Every hallway, every door, every possible escape route. The goal was speed, precision, total control. By late December, American military assets had quietly surrounded Venezuela. Fighter jets, drones, and naval vessels were positioned strategically. On Christmas Day, Donald Trump approved the operation. Bad weather delayed execution for days. Finally, on January 2nd, conditions aligned. Late that night, Trump gave the final authorization. More than 150 American military aircraft took off from multiple bases. Cyber units struck first, cutting electricity and communications across Caracas. The city went dark. Confused civilians had no idea what was happening. Moments later, airstrikes destroyed radar and air defense systems around the capital. 40 people lost their lives before the ground operation even began. At 2:01 a.m., helicopters reached the presidential compound. Guards opened fire. One helicopter was hit, but continued flying. Explosives breached entry points. Delta Force commandos entered the building. Within minutes, Nicolas Maduro and Cilia Flores were in American custody. They were flown out of Venezuela immediately, first to the USS Iwo Jima, then to Guantanamo Bay, and finally to the United States. Days later, photographs were released showing the Venezuelan president and first lady in chains on American soil. The Trump administration justified the operation by accusing Maduro and Cilia Flores of narcoterrorism and international drug trafficking. Both had been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Yet experts quickly questioned the logic. Venezuela is not a major drug producer. Most cocaine entering the United States comes through Colombia, Guatemala, and Mexico. The deadliest drug in America today, fentanyl, originates through Mexico using chemicals sourced from China, not Venezuela. So why Venezuela? The answer lies beneath its soil. Venezuela holds 303 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, the largest in the world. American refineries depend on Venezuelan heavy crude. When Venezuela nationalized its oil industry and expelled foreign corporations, sanctions and economic pressure followed. When these measures failed, military force followed. Trump did not stop at Venezuela. He publicly threatened Cuba, warning that its economy was ready to collapse without Venezuelan oil. Cuba's president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, rejected the threats. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, also resisted U.S. pressure. Colombian President Gustavo Petro was mentioned as a potential target. Russia, China, and several nations condemned the operation. Under American law, the operation raised serious questions. The U.S. Constitution requires congressional approval for military action. Trump did not seek it. His administration claimed this was not a war, but a law enforcement action. Yet law enforcement does not involve airstrikes, cyber warfare, or foreign invasions that killed dozens. Operation Absolute Resolve changed global politics. It sent a warning that power can override law and sovereignty exists only at the mercy of stronger nations. Today, it is Venezuela. Tomorrow, it could be Cuba, Colombia, or any country that refuses to comply. This story is not about whether Nicolas Maduro was a good or bad. That judgment belongs to history. It is about a world where might dictates, right? Rules apply only to the weak, and international law becomes optional. History has shown us where unchecked power leads, and it never ends peacefully.